Good morning. This is Food is a Conversation, Alumni Edition, number 9. Today we have a special guest again who hasn't attended any of the educational programs as a student, but he has attended almost all of them. So let me add to the conversation Castellana, who is part of the media team by Future Food Institute. Ciao, Francesco.
Hi Julia, how are
Good
you?
morning. I'm good. And yourself?
Yes, I'm good too.
Very good. So we managed this connection so fast that I still have a bit to tell to the audience about the format. So
Go
these
on.
sessions happen twice a week, once on Tuesday and once on Thursday. We have an evening session and a morning session, Central European time, in order to be able to introduce all of the alumni of the Future Food Institute wherever they are all over the world. So if you have any questions, please feel free to post it in the chat and we will make sure we have time at the end to answer them. And for now, let me introduce you to today's guest interviewee, however we want to call it, who has not been a student, but was on almost all of the educational programs. So Francesco, please tell us a bit about yourself.
Hi everyone, I am Francesco Castellana and I am the social media manager and community manager of the Future Food Institute. So I was not a student like you said, but I am in the Future Food since its begin, and I basically attempted in, we can say, behind the scene all the events that Future Food have done during this year. All of them, like more than 200 events, I was present in all of them.
Yes, well, I remember you have been also when we came with, so we were based in Reggio Emilia, and then Food is a Conversation was always hosted in Bologna in Scuderia, and you were always there with the live phone setup, and yeah. So thank you so much, because I think it's very important that we communicate what happens in the network and also what kind of tools we use in order to work towards a more sustainable food system. So you mentioned that you are with Future Food almost since the beginning. So if we would like to put this in numbers, what does that mean? When
It,
did you join and what is the story?
yes, it means that that time, basically I can say I'm with Sara and Andrea, that are like two of the main figure of the Future Food Institute, and of course Sara is also the founder of the Future Food Institute since 2013. So before the Future Food Institute even existed, because I joined the company after I graduated, because I've made a course with the Emilia-Romagna region that was a course in order to be specialized in marketing. And part of this course was to make a little internship of 3 weeks in a company. So for me, the Emilia-Romagna region chose a UCAN group that was the, the, the main company that then make beer to some other very amazing project like food, but also, to give another example, a well-done burger.
Yeah.
So I was selected to be the intern of the in this company. Was something that has to be little, because as I said, it was just 3 weeks. There were not, like possibility probably remain part of the company, but in these 3 weeks I create a particular project, because at that time there was also a sushi restaurant that Sara and Andrea managed. Not only one restaurant, but basically was I can say a sort of franchise of a sushi restaurant, the first one in Italy. That was a franchise, and I create social media campaign dedicated to cosplayer.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very funny, but also very interesting. And from this project, that it's very, very far from our future food, but that had in common, of course, the passion of food and the passion of also food of foreign countries or other cultures.
Yeah.
They probably have seen in me something, so the 3 weeks now are almost 8 years.
Yeah, so you became inseparable, basically.
Yes, yes.
Nice. So, how would you, if you look at your relation to food before this project and you go through the 8 years by now, how do you think your relation to food changed? Or what were the things what you have learned or you changed in your diet?
Well, my relation with food, it's changed a lot. You need to consider that until I was 22, I was 90 kilograms. So now I'm 60 kilograms. Okay. So even before that I joined Future Food and all the company, I began to think about myself and about the relation that I had with food, because to be honest, I was food addicted. Okay,
Mhm.
so there was this particular moment where I began to also read about this relation, and I read interesting books like, for example, Eating Animals. That is a book from 2009 from Jonathan Safran Foer, that is also the author of some very interesting novel. So it's a novelist before a sagist, okay? And after that, I began to feel that what I was doing was not the best way to relation myself with food. So I began to work on it, first mentally and then physically. So I worked a lot in order to what I can say, to stop being hungry.
Okay.
And it was a very difficult work, because when you need to lose weight, the first thing that you need to do before, like the gym, or before it's the way that you change your mind. Like, you need to think like any other form of addiction, because sometimes it's an addiction, that
Yeah.
what you want is not what you need, or maybe what you need
I,
is not what you want. I don't know how to say it in a
yeah,
proper
no,
way.
but it makes sense.
So
Yes.
so I began to work on myself, to read about it, to be more conscious of what I was eating, and then also I began to go to the gym and to work physically. And I remember that there was a particular day, believe me, when I woke up and I was not angry. And this was incredible. I I began to lose weight. I lose something like 15 kilograms in 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to lose the other 15, there were 3 years. Because when you try to lose weight, the first one are very easy. Also, in every kind of addiction, it's very easy at the beginning. You feel yourself good, but when we can say the physical addiction stops, there is the mental one, and there is the challenge. And when I can say, at the end of this path, was the moment where I met the Future Food. So when I met Sarah Andrea and Yukin Group, and was, I don't know, a sort of, we can say, a destiny, because after all that work on my body and all that work on my relation with food, and I didn't study food, I studied communication. I
Yeah.
loved food, of course, but I was not a food expert. But in that particular moment, this reality appears. There was this project, so I thought maybe this is a sort of sign.
Yeah.
And working with them and working with this project made me more conscious about food, more conscious about the power of food and the power of food of creating culture, of creating community, and was also an help for me, because since that moment I'm working here from 8 years, and there was not a single time that I take another time wait on that. Even I think about food in the way that I think in the past, because this helped me a lot to be more conscious, and also to help other people, to let them understand the power of food. And this is a great gift for me, not only professionally speaking, but also personally.
Thank you so much for sharing this. I am very, very happy that you could share this. I think it's also very important for others to hear these stories. And I think that's where also Future Food, it has this power to reach out to so many people and help them there where they most need it. Let it be food security, let it be better agricultural practices, let it be customized food, or let it be food as a medicine, right? And I think
Exactly.
these
Food as
stories,
a medicine is the perfect description. One of my favorite that we usually use in the Future Food Institute, because it's
yeah,
food could be a poison, but could be also a perfect medicine.
yeah, that's great. So recently we worked together on a very special event, the Food for Earth Day, which has been insane in terms of preparation, and also like running through a 24-hour marathon of food shapers, talking experts. And I mean, we needed a powerful infrastructure behind. And if I'm not mistaken, this was also the first kind of event, like this kind of event,
Ye-
what you had to organize. How did you like it? How did you experience it? And what were the most important takeouts for you?
Okay, there is a quote that I love from Philip K. Dick, that is a sci-fi author, that said, reality is that which, when you stop believing it, doesn't go away. I'm using this quote to let you know that there are sometimes events in Future Food that are very challenging at the beginning, because usually they start from a vision. Usually this vision is a vision from Sarah, that is our founder. And sometimes my first reaction is, we can't do it. We can't. Like, I can't. But taking back over our quote, I can stop to believe in it, but it doesn't go away, because need to be real. Okay. So I pass from we can't do it to how can we do it. Okay. And we can say that that is the moment where my work starts, because I'm in charge in the community part, in the social media part, and sometimes, because this aspect is related also to the technical part.
Mhm.
So in this marathon, for example, I also had we can say the gift to have in my side Francesco Tita, that he's my assistant, and he's a huge expert of social media. So I had the possibility to give to him, and also to other colleagues, like for example our head of institutional relations, Claudia Laricchia. I had the opportunity to give them the social part, to take for me a new challenge that was to organize the technical part for an event like this, that, believe me, is not easy. And so I found the right platform, the right way to communicate this to people, and also with your help and the help of the entire team, we were able to give the proper instruction to we can say 24 groups of different places, different extraction from all over the world. And after this huge preparation, the event started. And another time I came back to the quote that I said to you, because when we were doing this event, it was going so good that I was thinking, this is crazy, like I'm proud of it. It's unbelievable. But even if I thought that was unbelievable, it was real, it existed, it doesn't go away. So
Yes.
that was like the other side of the quote, the good fact, the good side. And organize events like this is maybe the most challenging part, but also the most beautiful part of our work. I don't know if have you ever seen there is a program in Italy. I don't know the American name of the program. Have you ever seen that program where there is like it's a program in Las Vegas where people sell their things to a pawn store?
No, I
So
don't know it, but I will look it up.
and it's very funny because like their main quote, it's the thing that I've learned, the thing that I've learned from this job is that you never know what is going to come from that door. So basically from Future Food, for me it's like that, like the most exciting part is that working with innovation doesn't have a proper rule. Innovation doesn't have a proper scheme. So every time that you learn something new, you don't know what will be your next challenge. So with every work, every new project that we approach, we don't know what there will be next, and we don't know what will be the best way at the beginning, of course, to solve that problem. And this is exciting. A little bit scary, of course, at the beginning, but definitely exciting, especially when you see that what at the beginning was something unbelievable then becomes real.
Yeah, definitely. Our quote or our running gag during our course was that we had to learn how to dance with ambiguity, and I think this definitely sums up how this whole space works. You have followed through a lot of like all of the food innovation programs and also the summer schools and the boot camps and so on. Do you have like a particular experience or something, a memory, what really stands out, what was very special for you during these times?
Well, I remember that the first time that we had to organize the first edition of Food Innovation Program, Sarah and Andrea, they sent me to America in order to organize not organize, of course, the master, but to take some contacts. Consider that in the thing, like it was the first time that we made a program like that. Until that moment, we made just hackathons that were absolutely super innovative for Italy, but were something totally different from an entire course. And like I remember that they sent me to the Food Accelerator in New York. Consider that I was working with them from less than 1 year. I was a very junior figure. I remember, and the main founder of this place was a Chinese man. I'm sorry, I don't remember his name right now. I will remember that. But it was very famous, a very famous person. And I remember that the first day I came in New York, they were making like a lesson in this accelerator. I arrived, I just taken my phone, I began to make photos and tag them, and then I helped them to fix their camera because they were also shooting. And after this session, like this person that was very important said, washes his phone and said, "Who's done this?" And one of the people said, "The new kid, that one." And he said, "What is your name, son?" And I said, "It's Francesco." I will remember this name. and it was so funny for me because it was like a scene of the movie. And like a few days later, consider that I need to stay there for 1 week, and then I had to go in San Francisco also for question related to the master. Sarah came a few days in New York. We had like a little dinner with him. Sarah said, "So I'm happy that you found the Francesco very interesting. So Francesco, as you know, is going to stay here other 3 days." And he said, "3 days? No, I think he's going to stay here 30 days. And they was Sarah like, "You serious?" And Sarah said, "Of course you will." And I said, "Of course I am." And I said, "Really? Really?" But it was very funny and was maybe one of the best experience, and also was the starting point for all of that, because I've seen it growing and burning. And then, of course, there are all the initiatives and the events that I made with all the students. For me, every time to come in. To come to visit like the students and the master at Reggio Emilia was super funny, also because to see all the students that had different backgrounds was super cool. Some of them are, I can say for me now, that they are like real friends. Antonio Gagliardi alias Totao, to give you an example, or Chiara Cecchini, for example, that now they are also part of our ecosystem, but I can refer to them as proper friends for me.
That's amazing. Yeah. We are slowly but surely running out of our time. So I would phrase you the last question, which is always the last part of these conversations. The first part of this question is, how did you experience the past few weeks in the lockdown? How did your consumption change? Did that give you any insecurities with your food consumption habits, or did you get more creative? And once we finish this, like, look at the now, I would like to hear your opinion about the future. What is your preferred food future? What you would like to see evolving over the next years?
Yes. First of all, I can say that during this period of quarantine, I definitely hit better, because I'm at home, and being at home means for me that I can cook every day, and a lot of time also I live with my girlfriend and future wife, and a lot of times also she, for example, during the week she cooks, and I cook in the weekends, to give you like a sort of schedule of our home. And well, cooking at home means that every time I can choose what I want, but I don't know, to say it in a more healthy way. Definitely, where I went to the office because of lack of time, I had to eat outside more, definitely more than now. I can feel now that I'm eating better, and also because having more time for cooking, more time for myself, means that I can eat more in a more healthy way, and also with more variety. And this is definitely a thing that is changed from the past, and I can also feel this on my body, because I feel definitely better about it. And I want to think for myself that I will take note of this for the future. So I will try for myself to be to take cooking, also sometimes to organize properly my food. And this is like a message that I want to have for me and I want to bring in the future. If I see more in the situation in general and the future that I see about it, I've seen for food, but not only for food, more awareness about people, because there are several things, including food, that we thought that was, I don't know how to say it, was something easy, something that we don't give value. Okay, now seeing all that cook lines at the supermarket, you know what I mean? So like the thing that access to food is not so easy, and even when you enter, you sometimes see like that there is not the usual food that you can find in the past. So you perceive a lack of this food. Like there is a semiotic, because I've studied semiotic, expression that is very particular, that is presentification of absence. So that every time that something that you didn't thought that you need is absent, then you need it, then you know there is not there. It's happening with food. It's happening also with our freedom to go outside, for example.
Yes.
We know that there could be the possibility that in the future something could go wrong and we can have less than we were used to. So we are more aware of this. I think that in the future, and I also think that this could be the best way of seeing the future, that this awareness turn into action. So the fact that we now have experienced a lack of freedom, a lack of liberty, and a lack of possibility of choose about our food, make us more aware, but also turn us into action. So we are more conscious about it. We will do something about it. So we will probably eat in a more healthy way, and we are probably also going to think in a more sustainable way, because there were, even before this event, there were a lot of signs that planet Earth was showing to us to say, look, there's something that is going wrong. And every bad event in the history, a very bad event, has a few signs before that. And also a lot of bad events had previous huge status of greatness. Like think at the Belle Epoque, a little bit before the First World War, okay? But then every period of crisis, it's followed by a period of empowerment or greatness. Think about the economic boom after the Second World War, because period of crisis like this make people to think about their future and to go out from the comfort zone. Because when you have when you begin to think that you have nothing, you begin to think that you have nothing to lose. And this is the starting point of every innovation process, I think. Like when you begin to think that you have nothing to lose, there is the moment that you are more creative in the world. And I hope that this
is a perfect closing line, to be honest. Exactly. When you feel you have nothing, there is nothing to lose, and you will start actually take those ideas and turn them into action. Francesco, thank you so much. It was such an insightful conversation. I'm happy that we managed this. So now both of the Francescos from the media team has been introduced to the network. So for the audience, this conversation will be live for the following 24 hours. We are still debating how can we make use of the footage in the future. And we will continue the conversations next Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. CET. And well, stay tuned. And from now on, I expect some questions from the audience as well. All right. Thank you so much. Have a lovely afternoon. Bye, Francesco.
Bye. Thank you to
Bye-bye.
you, Julia. Ciao,
Bye.
ciao.